is May 13th, 2026. You know, Henry Moffey needs to be arrested and arrested fast. And Agent John, I know I can understand being FBI. Somebody comes in and tells you they're using sodium pentothal on someone, you want their drug connections. Or they told you they were keeping me drugged up there and they were drug beating, raping me. I didn't realize what was happening. And they were trying to murder me. And they had sodium pentothal reports to get the truth out of me, where they were drugging me and telling me to say stuff. You wanted the drug dealer behind it. I get that. You have got so many drug dealers off this, it's not even funny. Like an investigator said last week, I'm tired of playing with this extortion group. The drug dealers aren't showing up anymore. No, just the extortion group and some retards that they get to participate in this. Today in Route 800, we're in Dollar General. Had to pull over for Carl to use the bathroom. Some retard comes in, and these fucking ass bitches, the retards, come in. Some attorney, after what they found out about her before, is gonna take her husband. Nobody thought it was funny how she talked to him. Then said a bunch of other shit. You do realize it's a scam. They made everything up, right? For you fucking retarded ass, right? I heard other people today, they were talking about in Walmart on the strip, that girl saying you were stealing for her, Agent John. She tells everybody she's your girlfriend and you're stealing from the case for her. Now, Henry Moffey, where they, over the weekend, on Saturday, I was in Myers and Alliance. Investigators were in there. Said, I'm tired of dealing with that attorney for children. Said, it's no attorney for children. It's just Dave's ex-girlfriend's father. He's just telling people that. Henry Moffey, the one that said he's pulling a fast one on the FBI trying to steal all the money from the case. Yeah. Dave's ex-girlfriend, Michelle, her father. Scamming everybody. It's like they said, today I heard people talk. It's their debt to drug dealers. This whole thing. None of this is funny. No, it's not. September 30th, 1 o'clock in the morning, a biker brought that Michelle down. The guys running it said no one's allowed to say a word to her again in her life. And that this whole thing is your family's debt to drug dealers. Is that what's going on? Yes, I'm sorry. Or yes. Does she even know who you are? No, I don't want her to know. She don't even know who you are. You had her skull bashed in, or raped and tortured. Because you were in debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. Listen to her and her friend Matt talk January 13th, 23, that the Ohio drug dealers were threatening that agent's life because all those people got human trafficked and it was your family letting it happen? Yes. And your family human trafficked people to pay off that debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. She sold children. Her sex slaves going to be murdered, and she's sorry. Was your family's that was telling her new husband's family they'd steal everything for them? Yes, but I really liked that farm and I wanted it. Like, it makes it okay to terrorize an elderly man. Listen to the original cartel in September 23. They already confessed they photoshopped everything. Did you know that? Yes. Did you know they already confronted her ex-husband? That it was medication errors, medical malpractice, and fraud that made her sick before, and they encouraged them to sue those doctors for years? Yes, I knew that. December 1st, 25. There's a real pretty Michelle that dated an agent on a Rouge. Told on him that the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of my doctors. And when they tried to kill me, when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent. It didn't work. March 27, 25. After midnight, he was outside. Okay? And Carl heard her say it April 17th, 25, and she's parking lot, screaming it out. And the Texas group admitted it was just a scam for that Will guy to join them. April 24th, 25, and that the doctor from before is not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of my doctors, and the whole thing's a scam. April 24th, 25, and then May 26th, 25, Walmart 62. And then May 30th, 25, the Louisville police got the surveillance of the cartel seeing it in Walmart 62. Because they tape an audio in every aisle. Got him. And that the whole thing is a scam from Bill from the Freemasons. Okay. Well, December 1st, 25, that pretty Michelle where they threatened to kill her for telling on him. She went badass on him. Her and her friends started telling on all these people. An investigator comes in Walmart 62. They still have it. Still have it. Said that Michelle showed up in my office, said this whole thing is a scam to extort money. These people confessed this whole thing is a scam to extort money from the government. Her ex-husband was involved. They all were. They were all in there to con the FBI out of money. I told you Strange hated the government. The government's evil. They'll take your kids away. The government will brainwash them. You'll have to hide your guns in pipes in the backyard. They'll come in and take them. Government's evil. Well, the evil government, try to con him out of money for his son's mistress's family member that was in debt to drug dealers. Try to con the FBI out a bunch of money. Went in there with a big con. Drug confessions, photoshopping and washing, and a fake dirty doctor breaking HIPAA. Dumbasses. Okay? Back to December 1st, 25, that the whole thing is a scam to extort money out of the government. Her ex-husband was involved. And that guy, Pete, that was running his mouth about her in my office, she doesn't even know who he is. It's just some guy Dave hired on his own. These people admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her and drugged her and told her to say it before. And the tape of Weird with Yourself is nothing but photoshopped washing in the shower. And the whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. They thought they could take their stalking tapes. And with roofie confessions, hypnotic drugs, and told to say it, they even admitted last year in Walmart, when I walked by doors, they would be hiding behind them and reach out and stab me real quick. And it's like, ow, what bit me? You look back and don't see anything. You don't expect to see anything because no one else is supposed to be in your home. You thought you got bit or stung. Go sit down, take a drink in the room, go to Stacey and back, and they were stabbing me as I'd walk by. Predators preying on somebody in their home, rapists, and they're drugging you up until you say stuff, have you beat and raped, come out of it, you never seen anybody, you never talked to anybody, got a severe personal infection, giant bruises, throwing up, head spinning, almost passing out, and you're going to the doctor, is it the dirty well water I'm showering in, trying to make sense why you're so sick? And here it's a rapist playing a con on you. That's how not funny this is. Some rapist did this. And one of his friends pretended to be a dirty doctor. In it with people saying they're trying to kill you because some idiot called you a faker 15 years before. January 1926. Bob Evans, that guy, Henry Moffey. When the case first started on Instagram, I used to have an account. This guy texts me, I think you're beautiful. It's like, thanks. Something about love on a beach, I don't know. And something else, I don't know. I don't know him. Then I go to stores and people are talking about him. Then men are showing up saying that they work for Judge Peters or from Florida. They're drug dealers and human traffickers. And he's driving around with them. And don't know him from Adam. He's so mad. I'm joking around in the car with Carl and I'm telling him, I said, these people that yell shit at me, they need to realize I'm an FBI informant. I am in government immunity for helping out with this case. They can kiss the FBI's ass, the judge's ass that signed it. They can kiss Agent John's ass, and they can kiss my government-protected, government immunity informant ass. I'm tired of them. And I turn on MC Hammer, you can't touch this, and we're joking around. They need to embrace it. Henry Moffey gets so mad. I haven't even heard about him in years, where they used to talk about him. They haven't talked about him in years. I figured the feds either got him or he ran. I don't know him from Adam, but nobody's been about him. I go in, and I thought, you look like that picture. I sit down. Carl had to go to the bathroom. And he's like, I'm the one that got a hold of her online. I thought, ooh, you look like him, but a lot thinner. He said, I'm the one that sent those messages. He said, I proved with those messages she was cheating. That's not cheating. That's you being a weirdo. And he said, I tell all men she's not good enough for another man. And I'm glad I never met her in person. He said, the officers that watch her only watch her because they feel sorry for her. She dances around the car with her husband like a big kid. I thought they liked me. And there's a quarter. You wouldn't have got a pity date. You ugly as a horse's ass. And you got the small dick syndrome. A man that thinks he has to hurt a woman to prove his manhood. Real men don't hurt women. And they definitely don't terrorize the elderly. He said, he had told my new husband's family he'd steal everything for them. What that girl say? It's her family. That's her dad. Okay? Put it together. That found out his son was down there vandalizing stuff on the farm. Told him to stay out of it. I'll steal everything for them. He said, I heard the other Michelle's telling on us for what we're actually doing. I thought, thank you for your confession. Oh, they can't use it. Yes, they can. You're not God, mister. You may be demon-possessed, but you are not God. And he said, well, the FBI is busy with Minnesota. I got a judge's friend that'll enter all my tapes in court. The drug confessions, drugs and told to say it in the Photoshop of washing. The whole thing's a scam. Sign everything over to me, and I'll be long gone, and I'll steal all the cases' money for myself. And pull a fast one on the FBI. I thought, over my dead body. I wrote the president, and I wrote FBI headquarters. Over my dead body. Yesterday, I was in Walmart on the strip. People were talking. Nobody say a word. We found out the guy doing it to her is just her ex-husband's father. Her ex-husband's girlfriend's father. And they're trying to steal for themselves. None of this is funny. Some girl is in there, and she said, we've seen that the human traffickers and ones that were helping them, she wrote that they need to get the death penalty. They should. And she said, that's only for serial killers. Well, you dumb moron. What do you think human traffickers are? I know you're an effing retard. And I'm sorry, I cannot be nice and I can't swear enough. I feel like I got Tourette's. There's not enough dirty words to call these evil people. There's not enough dirty words to call these people. For people to realize how evil they are. What do you think a human trafficker is? We put a nice name on the worst criminals. What do human traffickers do? They sell women and children for what? For what, moron? sex slaves and to be murdered in body parts. They use them and let people rape them until they kill them and find their bodies dismembered in mass graves. What are human traffickers? Serial killers that are child molesters and rapists and cold-blooded murderers. That's what a human trafficker is. They are serial killers. And if there was tougher penalties for anybody being caught in a human trafficking group, they might not get so many people to join. Instead of getting a slap on the wrist, it ought to be mandatory death penalties. They have sold human beings, like they're cattle, for sex slaves and for people to murder for the joy out of it, and for body parts, women and children. They're serial killers. They ought to be executed, and no leniency whatsoever. It ought to be a mandatory. I'll tell you what, if a death penalty went up on human traffickers, if you get caught human trafficking, you get the death penalty. How many people wouldn't think twice of joining a group like that? A lot. Because, like my friend Walter used to work at the Starr County Prosecutor's Office. He said, human trafficking is $1 billion a year industry. It is. They can sell a human being for $25,000 to $50,000 for a sex slave or for body parts. They were talking the last few months. Some guy said, I wish she'd lose weight. They said the original cartel didn't want her to smoke. They only wanted to sell her for body parts. He said, that's not what I want to sell her for. You can kiss my fat ass. Some other girl was in Walmart on the Strip yesterday saying, John was supposed to be stealing for me so I wouldn't have to work ever again in my life. There's a girl claiming Agent John. She is your girlfriend. And you are stealing from the case so she'll be a millionaire. And she won't have to work again in her life. She's in her 20s. She needs to get a job. And if not, she's making sure you get arrested. And she's telling everyone you're stealing from the federal government. That's not the first time. April 30th, 26. Myers out in Alliance. She's out there walking by me. Again, she showed up all kinds of places. She brags to everyone, you're stealing from the federal government for her. Henry Maffei has been, and his daughter Michelle, and his girlfriend, that Michelle or Lauren, the one that lost all the weight, how you're stealing for them, and they want to be millionaires the rest of their life. And I heard Pammy was helping out so that her daughter and granddaughter be set for life too. They thought they could steal from the federal government. Thought they could walk into an FBI office. I bet your mouth almost hit the ground. I call an FBI hotline with threats and attempts on my life. Cry my eyes out. It hits the call, where the people's desk to call people back. And I heard instantly they walked into an FBI office with their great performance. Plan, skit, and how they do it. Oh, we're illegally monitored. We're stalking her on our own. By federal law, they were to be arrested. Illegal monitoring, cyber stalking, wiretapping, voyeurism are very big crimes. 7 to 15 years. Why didn't you arrest them? Why didn't you? And that they were using sodium pentothal on me to get the truth out of me, where they were drugging me and telling me to say stuff. And that they were keeping me drugged up there so bad that I didn't realize what was happening and thought it was the well water giving me cancer. Because it was dirty. I was showering in. And they were having me even beat and raped under drugs, and she wasn't realizing it because she's so drugged up. They were basically keeping me kidnapped under drugs. And they were human trafficking me under drugs. Why didn't you arrest him, Agent John? Oh, they were taping it in the bathroom, selling kitty porn, and my grandkids going potty on porn sites. Why didn't you arrest the child molesters? Huh? That they were videotaping me in a shower and they photoshopped me in a shower scene of washing myself in another room, and they had drugged me and told me to say horrible stuff. And then they had one of their friends pretend to be a fake dirty doctor breaking HIPAA with them, and with people saying they're trying to kill me and that they had been trying to kill me because some idiot minister called her a faker 15 years ago. And it offended us. She had nothing to do with her kid's death. It's 6 months later in 2003, and he said it, and we didn't like what he said about her, so we waited 15 years to kill her. She don't even go to our church, and we hunted her down. They sound like retards. And another girl saying, oh, she threatened me. Told the hotline, she has nothing to do with you. Don't even go to your church. Don't have any phone numbers, addresses. Her husband and her, she hasn't belonged to your church in 15 years, and her husband hasn't belonged there in 6. And she only visited, she said, 2 times in 2011 with him and didn't go back. And no other time has she been there in 15 years. So where would she threaten you? I didn't. They were lying, like they said. They were all lying in there to him. They're all defrauding a federal agent to try to scam him out of money. Have him open a case, trick him into signing the money over to them, and they'd pull a fast one on him and walk off. Even that family that was in there saying, it offended us, confessed March 27th, 25 to that FBI agent that got it out of that other Michelle, that they were all lying in that office, that it never offended them, that it didn't even concern them. They were all lying to get away with this. They were just trying to rob the FBI, trying to con them out of money. The government, that Strange hated him. I got the idea. So Agent John, and where Dave was saying that he was having men drug beat and rape me, and keep me so drugged up I wasn't realizing what happened. In parts of me, I was like, why don't you just shoot him? They're all saying they're trying to kill me, they're human trafficking me, drug beat and raping me, drugging me for fake confessions, Photoshop and frame, and some idiot saying, hey, I'm with the killers and the human traffickers breaking HIPAA. Why didn't you arrest them all? Slam them to your desk for being stupid. Something. Why didn't you do your sworn duty and arrest him? See, I was always told by officers that it was supposed to be a scam of you acting that way. Acting like a crazy occult person. So you could trick them into giving up their drug connections. You weren't supposed to drink the rape juice, become a crazy occult person. See, these people have admitted they paid you off and all kinds of stuff trying to get you arrested. The one guy I was working with when the case first started, within a week or 2, Dave was outside on the phone. I overheard him. That Dixie and the baby would be next. He'd teach Josh a lesson for letting me down there, that he was so angry he could cut off his hands. So he couldn't work anymore. And they had a list of people they're going to do this to. I Googled the office where he said he was. I wanted to make sure he was legit. Found him. They said he's got a list. I'm working on it. Well, in the beginning of 19, I tried to call back down. They said that he was no longer with the FBI, and they were very sorry about everything. Here I'm in a case that cannot be closed. My friend Walter, like he said, you're not only an informant case, but a threat and attempt at life case. These people actually tried to kill you, and they could wait and try to kill you again. You can never get out of this case. You're not only an informant case, but a threat and attempt at life case. Karen, you don't even realize you're in one of the many witness protection programs. Informants are different. You stay yourself. You feed them information. You can tell whoever you want. That agent can't say a word. I said, well, he already confessed. He told on me. He can't tell on you, but you can tell whoever you want. He can't say anything to you. It's a freedom of speech. First Amendment, only a judge in like a jury trial can say he can't say anything. He said, and he's only a higher police officer, and he don't have the authority, and it's illegal for him to say it. He cannot withhold your money, cannot misdirect it. It's illegal, and he cannot tell people they can't help you. It's illegal, and he cannot bully you into false statements either. I Googled what is a jail sentence for an FBI agent telling an informant if they say something they won't get their money. It is a federal crime of blackmail, tampering with a witness, obstruction to justice. If they steal the money, it's theft out of government funds and a crime against the U.S. government. It's 20 to life in federal. That's how much you can't say it. Can't be in a court order. No judge can sign it because it's blackmail and all those other charges. It's even on Google that a judge and that agent would have to pay back every dime. And then prison sentence. And then he cannot tell people they cannot help me. He cannot withhold protection. If you say something, it is obstruction to justice, tampering with a witness, and aiding and abetting crimes, and it can go into attempted murder. They still owe me all that money. All right. So why didn't you arrest them? See, this is the Bill from the Freemasons big scam. Had some guy go in and drug her up and tell her to say that. Had some guy take a video of her washing herself in the shower and put that in the other room. Ran a scam off of it. Who could steal her money? May 25th, 25. They talked about at 19 that he was going to run a scam of who could steal my money. Okay. Now, oh, all right. My husband, Carl, real sweetheart. He's 21 years older than me. His second wife's children. His second wife is deceased. When he married her grown daughter, Deb, 26, and Lester and Veronica were, 14 and 15? Something like that. Their father was still alive, still paid child support, still in the local area, still seen him till about 10 years ago when he died. The Orphan Annie bit is a scam. Deb was grown, married, and on her own had children. Those people, Brenda, his late wife, had her children beat on Carl. Every time she didn't get what she wanted, she had him beat. He's 5'3", 135 pounds, short little guy. Deb is 6 foot, 300 pounds, built like a man, smells, and toothless. She's took him for probably about 15,000, 20,000 or more herself that I can find. He told me it was close to 100. Okay. Never paid him back. Everything. Now, she's 26 on her own. She's never known Carl as a father or a stepfather. It was just her mom's second husband. That he said she's even beat on him at her mother's orders when he didn't do right. Beating on a 5'3", 130-pound man. A 6 foot, 300-pound woman built like a man. It's not even a fair fight. And being a man, he wouldn't hit back. Okay? And then she would sexually assault him. And then Brenda would warn him to stay quiet. Had all her children beat on him. He lived his life for 20 years in fear and abuse. He said he was a long-distance truck driver. Okay? He said, I hated even to come home. He said, I get home and she'd already have my paycheck that was deposited already spent. She'd barely leave me enough money to survive. She married him to rob him. Her and her ex-husband, Jim, that lived in the area. It was probably a con to steal from him. Because he was still in the area and still in their life. They were probably conning him. Okay? He found out on Saturday, we had went out with his daughter, Audrey. She said, Brenda threw me out when I was 16. I said, I didn't know that. She said, threw me out. She said I had to have, the police had to have somebody else come pick me up while my dad was out of state. You know what she told Carl? That Audrey ran away. She didn't know where she was. She threw his own daughter out of the house at 16. She said, well, she let her children, that Lester and Veronica, sit and smoke pot and drink beer as teenagers. She'd get up for him. I want you to think about this. Okay. We tried to get a restraining order. Brenda's kids, that Lester and his crazy girlfriend Karen. Now, he borrowed, $6,000 the last time? He's only made 2 payments. He wrote checks in a year. Now it's been 2. Okay? Around Christmas of 24, he went over, he said, I want a payment on that, because he hadn't made a payment. He said, you fucking tight bastard. I started yelling at him. Okay? Well, when we got married, he said, I don't want Brenda's kids knowing we got married. It's none of their damn business. Their mother's dead. They're grown. He's not their father. And even if they were his father, he's grown. He can marry whoever he damn well pleases. It's none of their damn business. They have robbed him blind and abused him. They had us meet him at Bob Evans on 62 after Father's Day. Made the second payment. Said, Deb wants some more money. I said, after what she pulled last year, not another dime. She called up and said, I want money. He said, I don't have it to give you. She had asked at Memorial Day right after I first moved in. And he said, you already took, all the big money's gone. You already took it all. And he didn't give it to her because he didn't have it to give her. He was saving up for our wedding by September. She called him up screaming. And he said, I don't have it to give to you, and he's saving up for our wedding, and she's throwing a screaming mad at. He said, by the way, I'm marrying Karen. You're not allowed to marry her after my dead mommy. Who does she think? See, they think they own Carl. They think they own him. This thing of telling people what they can do is satanic. We live in a free country. He said, and she screamed and screamed, and he gave her $4,000 that he was saving for our wedding. She looked at him and said, is that all? Well, I told him after she said, is that all? And screamed at him until he was in tears. That is all. And not another dime ever again. These are not even his children, but his second wife's children that have beat him and abused him. Like the VA said, in the eyes of the law, they're not even considered stepchildren. They're nobodies. Their mother is dead. And they're grown. And that Lester said, you will give her money. And that's all there is to it. She's family. I said, not another dime. Not another dime. And we went to leave, and he said, I don't want them to know where we live because they only show up to bully me out of money. He has a right not to be robbed. To live his life without fear. We move in. We're in there over a month into a new mobile home. We loved it. We were so happy going to visit people, living our life. The mineral rights had overpaid him years ago, and we weren't getting any of that money. But between our 2 incomes, we had a nice life. We didn't have extreme life, but we had a nice life. Nothing extravagant, but we had a nice life. We go visit and talk with his older friend. She's in her 90s, Miss Joy. We go see my grandkids. We go see Audrey. We go to Amish country. We were enjoying our life in peace. Well, besides my harassers showing up, they're just annoying. They called him up. Where did you move? You didn't have the right to live wherever you want without our permission. That's how that Lester talked to him. The FBI and police recorded him saying that. And he said, we got ways of taking that Karen out of your life. He said, that's my wife. You only think you're married. He said, no, Bill Stoneman. The mayor of Carrollton married me in my attorney's office. He said, you only think you're married. She's evil and we're going to take her away from you. Don't you threaten my wife. We got ways of, you'll never see her ever again. He said, don't you threaten my wife's life. And they started threatening him. He said, and don't you ever threaten my life again. He said, I never want to speak to you ever again in my life. Does he have a right in the United States to say that? Absolutely. Absolutely. And he hung up. Do you know what that ass did? He showed up on our apartment, banged on the door, and Carl shit himself. Won't quit shitting himself. Now, they had never been in our apartment. It was spotless. Loved it. We kept it immaculate. Told the deputies it was filthy and disgusting. The deputy came in and said that place is spotless. You got a blanket on the couch where you're covering up and some bills you're getting ready to pay on the table. That's it. Everything else it has is in its place and it's spotless. I said they've never been in here. And they were trying to tell her he was a millionaire. See, that's where Deb tried to tell me in September. He's 24. He's a millionaire. I said he's no millionaire. His shoes were in rags. They were ripped and ragged. I had to buy him shoes. When I first moved in, I said, Carl, your shoes are ragged. I know I need some. Well, next day or two, he's still wearing the ragged shoes. I said, what size do you wear? I went on Amazon and I ordered it for him. His socks were all old, wore out, holes in them. Had ragged work clothes for the farm. He didn't have decent clothes. I had to replace everything. From socks to jeans to t-shirts to regular shirts. I had to buy him a winter coat, lightweight jackets. He tells everyone, including the VA, she's an angel. I've never had it this good. Somebody actually making sure I have everything. You know, that Deb saying he don't need new shoes. And you know what that Lester told the judge? Or that Karen, his girlfriend? Judge, she's evil. That other Karen pointing at me. She buys him new shoes. She buys him new clothes. She buys him healthy food and she makes him feel good about himself. She is pure evil. Psycho. And then they're sitting there saying all kinds of crazy crap and then changing their story and laughing in that judge's face. On September 10th, 25, Tuscarawas County Courthouse. And it was like the attorney there said, it was nothing but like a circus show in there. Never seen a judge let it happen. I reported her to the FBI. I go to walk out of that hearing and she said some office was in here saying that we're all supposed to get even with her. And then I walk by her room. I have the right to do those things to her. Go sit in the prosecutor's office. I want her to hate her husband. I want her to have nothing in life. You have no right, and that is abuse, to interfere in anybody else's life. Okay? Well, that Henry Maffei Will guy that's trying to pull a scam on the FBI, that his daughter Michelle wanted Carl's farm, they incited Rick, and that Deb encouraged him to go after Carl. He threatened to kill Carl, his own father. They got on the phone, and he said, I want that farm. He said, if I have to bash your head in and kill you. He said, and if I have to kill your wife, he said, don't you threaten my life and don't you threaten my wife's life. He said, I will have that farm. He said, you're not going to get anything. And he told him off, and he told him he never wanted to speak to him again. He came home from the farm. He's stomping around. He's no longer my son. He thinks he can threaten to kill you and threaten to kill me to take my farm from him. He is no longer my son, and I never want to lay my eyes on him again. He walked into his walk-in closet, got out this big bin, sat on the floor. He started ripping out pictures. I said, what are you doing? He said, I never want to lay my eyes on him again. How dare he threaten to kill you and me to take my farm? Well, he started calling 30 times a day before 8 o'clock, doing, well checks and abusing the police department to terrorize us. And they said they already knew they were doing it. I thought, then why are you doing it? Because would they want me to make them go out and well check them? Because apparently they aren't acting right. Send him over at 6 o'clock in the morning. Should have made them go check them. They think they're funny waking people up at 6? Abusing, terrorizing people with them? So they already know what they're doing. Then don't feed into it. And left him messages. Now, his brother Ern died years ago. Left his horse to his daughter Desi. Desi had found a cat and was letting it live with the horse. Carl was taking his turn of going down and feeding and watering it until Rick started threatening his life. Then he started telling people when he found him, he didn't know how or when, but he was going to kill him. It got so bad, Carl was too afraid to go down to his own property, being terrorized off of it. He started leaving text messages. Now, his mean calls, mean voicemails, we're not responding. We're not feeding into any of the drama. Not responding to any of it. Just let them hang themselves. He sent text messages. I'm going to call the VA. I'm going to tell them you have dementia and Alzheimer's. I have the right. No, we don't. That's abuse. He said, I'll even call the Humane Society, and I'll tell them you're beating that horse and abusing that cat. That you have dementia and Alzheimer's, don't know what you're doing. It's not even his horse or cat. It was just being stored at the property. And he kept it up, and he told his daughter Audrey if he had to get his dad arrested, just take that farm, he would. He called the Humane Society. Told them Carl was beating that horse and beating the cat. The week before that, Carl had said, there's a hope chest in that old house. It's my grandmother's. I'd love to give it to Audrey. My son, Danny, he said, Carl, he said, I will go down and I will guard you when you know that Rick won't be there. He said, I'll still guard you. I'll let you get that hope chest and whatever else you want, and we'll get out of there real quick. All right? Well, I had not been down to that farm yet. Danny went ahead and took pictures of Desi's horse. It was perfect. The week later, when he's making all those threats, and found out the Humane Society was called, and when we talked to him, the horse that was perfect the week before had a big hole in his face, scratches down. He had beat it. The cat was dying. Danny said it was fine the week before. We talked to Little Rob, the neighbor. He said he's on his turn to feed it because him and Desi were taking turns because Carl couldn't go down to his own property. Said 2 days before they were both perfect. Cat was running across the field. It was fine. We had to pay to put it down. It was dying of liver disease. We figured he poisoned it. Get an idea. Danny made a deal with the Humane Society. If he took the horse, put it on a different farm, got it medical treatment, if they dropped the charges against Desi. Desi was going to get $1,000 fine. Not Carl. Desi was, because it was Desi's horse and Desi's cat. They dropped everything and Danny got the medical treatment and she signed the horse over to Danny. Okay, saved the big thing. Well, he even told them he was going to sell the farm out from under Carl. He's not even on the deed. It was never his. It was never his. And he's taking people with nice trucks. We're watching him. Danny set up cameras. Ready to take him out there. And he's telling everybody he's going to sell it out from underneath Carl's. It's not even his. You know, he slit his own throat doing this. Because we had it set up for when Carl passes, that it would have been his and Audrey's. You don't get a damn dime when you think you can terrorize me and my sweet husband. We got, he started leaving messages. He had broken our apartment. We came home, the door was ajar one day. And he left messages. He stole paperwork between me and Carl. I looked, they were gone. He left messages. He got into our personal joint bank account. You have a bank transaction between me and my husband. And we went out to the bank and I said, how did they get information? Said they had to call in with Carl's information and impersonate Carl. Committed bank fraud. Okay. I always drink a lot of coffee. I work midnights. And we'd always drink coffee before I went to work. And he went to make me a coffee. One time I went to take a sip. I said, it tastes disgusting. Okay. Take it away. And he opened a new one and it was fine. And then the next day or so, I got really sick after I took a swallow or two. After what he did to that cat. Yeah, Carl's like he's probably playing with our food. Getting our apartment playing with our food. Well, we went down and made another report because there's more threats on his life. And he's telling people he's going to kill Carl. He has it planned. He's going to kill him and kill me. Okay? And he's got some shyster attorney that he's going to have him at least locked up, found incompetent, and everything turned over to him. And have him kidnapped. These are real honest threats. He's already beat a horse and poisoned a cat. We go down and we talk with Deputy Cox in Tuscarawas County. She told me to take my husband and run. He's got so many other people involved in this. This is crazy. Get out of here. Don't ever let him know where you live again. For his safety. I had to be out of there in 3 days. We got home and the cap was off the milk. Dumped everything out that was open. Now, when people say that some attorney, it is Henry Mavi, Dave's girlfriend's dad. He's just saying he's an attorney. He's saying he's an attorney for children. He has no attorney. I found out he's telling people he's FBI now, too. It's Dave's girlfriend's dad, and it's their debt to drug dealers, and they're pulling a con on the FBI and all society. They were talking yesterday in Walmart on the Strip that none of this is funny. Everybody found out it was Dave's girlfriend's dad and her. Scamming everybody. When you realize who's doing it, it's not funny and what they're putting idiots up to do. Other people down in Magnolia. I went in that gas station. Somebody's on the phone. We listened to the recorded line. That recorded line was stupid. That agent admitting to having everybody in his office and the way he talked to her and then tried to say she couldn't say anything. He can't do that. No, he can't. It's federal crimes. We get down, and I had to take my car down to get alignment. Well, we go in there, and Carl still has post-traumatic syndrome. Post-traumatic syndrome. Okay? Post-traumatic syndrome. And he had to the point that he was vomiting, panic attacks. Then he got so scared, he started screaming in places. And they get done telling him how many more people he's told he's going to kill him. It's like they're playing with you, Carl. They're trying to scare you crazy. And I know with him being older, he doesn't have the muscles to fight them off anymore. And playing mind games with the elderly is sick. And sometimes I've had to yell louder than his fear. Trying to get him to look at me. I got him in counseling at the VA. They said that his son Rick, they wish Carl could actually have enough courage to stand up against him in court, get a protective order against him, and then she's going to cost him his job and his benefits. And when she gets done with him, the VA, he won't have nothing for terrorizing us. She said you were living your life and enjoying it, and they had no right interfering in it. Like today, he goes into this whiny act. You know, there's something called tough love. You're direct, but you're not cruel. You can't do this. And I told him today he needs to pray. He needs to clear his mind. And ask God for peace. And the words of the devil that tries to put fear in your heart and take... See, they said if they wanted to scare him into dementia and Alzheimer's. You can't scare somebody into dementia and Alzheimer's. A plaque buildup on your brain that your brain dies. They can scare him till he has a mental collapse. That's about it. Or into a stroke or a heart attack. That's it. They can't give him dementia or Alzheimer's. They can scare him into a mental lapse. That's it. So to bring him out of the horror, remind him he's safe. He's fine. Look at me. Even the VAs are telling Carl, you need to realize and learn how to calm yourself down when she's not there. When you go to have a panic attack, go for a walk. Breathe. Go exercise. Do something. So today I told him, I said, these people are demon possessed. And you know what you do? You put faith over fear. And you look at that devil and those words and you tell him to shut up. Your words will not control me. They will not define me. They are nothing but lies, and you will not have control. And you thank God for delivering you out of it. It's faith over fear. And you put that devil back in its place and to shut up. And every time they go to say something, you hear something, you tell that devil to shut up. And you get faith and you pray and ask God. When you pray, it's like meditating. It clears your mind. Tell God what you want. That you want a release from this, to give you faith over the fear and get you out of the circumstance. Trust Him, believe. And as you get faith, you get strength inside of you. We were talking today when we went to walk in and he started acting. I said, no, this is not okay. Do you understand me? You need to act like you used to just a few months ago. It's not that he's older. It's just that he's got into this whiny act that he thinks he can just push everything over on me. No. It's called tough love. You will be able to be okay. You will act like a grown man and not act whiny. Breathe and you're fine. It's tough love of letting people know they're all right and putting faith back in their heart and bring them out of the darkness of fear. That's what love does, is it brings you back. And it's direct without being cruel. I gotta get off here. Agent John, I need my money. I need new names and social for me and Carl, a medical card for both. A letter of thank you for helping with the case would be nice. And that girl, if she is your girlfriend, tell her where she tells everybody you don't want her to work anymore. She's in her 20s. She needs to get a job. The gold digger can go somewhere else. That money, I earned it for me and for me to take care of myself, my husband, and my children that I almost died to save. It wasn't meant for anybody else. I'd like my money, please. You know, some sweet lady told me, you know, the money you want and that you need, the freedom away from being harassed and harmed, and the things that you've wanted. You just gotta ask God one more time for it. He'll make it come true. I ask. And I ask. And I ask. And I will ask until I die. And I will report this Agent John until I die. I feel like the Bible story of the woman that went to a judge and said, avenge my adversary. And he said, woman, I don't feel a man or God, but you won't leave me alone. I'll give you what you want because you won't leave me alone. I earned that money. And I am the only one entitled to it. I'm going to